Hey everybody, this is Dave with Blue Line Battle Sports. Today I want to talk to you guys about gear. And this is our gear setup, moving from a brand new rookie gear from the last video where we just started playing airsoft. We're going to fast forward a few months into the future. We're going to go ahead and assume that you guys are all excited about airsoft, want to stay in airsoft, and you want to make your stuff better and want to move towards those bigger MILSIM events. So first off, we're going to discuss uniforms. Uniforms can be anything. You look around at different units, especially now on the news, you've got everything from military operators to the street guys that are working for ICE or Homeland Security, and it varies, right? Technically, you could just keep your jeans and t-shirt from the last video and throw a plate carrier on and say you're a secret agent or a special agent or whatever, right? When I first started, the big deal was private military company, and it was a pair of khakis and a black polo and some kind of Tac Gear. That's another way to go. Also very cheap. One of the things I did is I went on Temu and I found a combat uniform. You can't even call them BDUs anymore because I don't think that anyone does. But I found a combat uniform, and with that was a combat shirt, and it's got that lightweight, breathable mesh in the middle. It's got the ripstop sleeves with different pockets and patch real estate if you want to look cool and do that. And then the pants themselves, again, same ripstop material. They're decent. And you've got a Cordura nylon knee protector here. It's not a pad. There's no padding in it. But it does keep rocks and sticks out of it. I think total, I can't remember what I paid for it. I'll flash it up on the screen for you. But I think it was somewhere in the neighborhood of $65, $70. I can't remember. But I'll get it up there for you. So with our uniform out of the way, let's talk about our gear. One of the things that you have to think about when you play airsoft is what do you need? There's no point in carrying extra stuff or emulate a certain military unit or whatever, and you see they have this gear, so you have to have this gear, and you're just kind of role-playing whatever unit that is. Let's just call it what it is, okay? So think about what you need. For me, personally, I like to go minimalist when I do this, but when you consider your own loadout, you need to think of a couple of things. First of all, what are your limitations? Are you in good shape, bad shape, old, young? These all play into what you can carry and endure for a MILSIM event or even a long walk-on day or a local event, right? So think about what are your limitations. Then think about where you play. Like if you're in the Northeast or somewhere that's cooler climate, you can get away with more gear than somebody like me that's down here in the Southeast where it's just hot and sticky during the summer, like from April to October. Like it's just miserable hot down here, and it's wearing a ton of gear makes no sense at all. I know some people do it, and that's their thing. And do it. Do what you want. It's your sport. But it doesn't work for me. So what I like to do is I like to go with the battle belt loadout. It keeps everything nice and light and cool. I've got enough for 3 magazines here, and the magazines that I'm using right now are EPM ones, and they're 250 round magazines. So I have 3 on the belt, 1 in my replica, for a total of 1,000 rounds per game. It's more than enough, unless you shoot like me, and then it's barely enough, but that's another issue. I have a dump pouch right here. It folds up like a handcuff case. That's nice. I'm going to be putting my radio pouch on here soon enough. I just haven't done it yet. And then I run a grenade pouch. I got another one coming. That's going to give me 2 grenades, a radio, place to put my spent magazines, and 3 pouches, and that's it. That's all I'm running. And I took that inspiration from Speed Softers because they play fast, they play loose, they play with mobility, and that is the entire point of that loadout, is just to be able to move throughout the day without suffering unnecessary fatigue. Added to that, for bigger games, there will be a hydro pouch that does have some extra room in there for a bottle of BBs, a speed loader, and maybe a small snack like a power bar or something. Just something tiny that I can keep on the field if I need an energy pick-me-up. But that's it. That's going to be the entirety of my loadout. The mask and the goggles from our last video, and a ball cap. That's it. That's my whole loadout. So that's pretty much how a loadout would break down. There are other pieces to my loadout that I will use if I'm running my Lancer Battle X, which is a PDW. They run smaller magazines than the 250s. They're like 120 a piece. I have 4 on a battle belt setup and an additional 4 on my chest rig. And here's a full picture of it. And that's what I usually run. As you see, I have 4 slots in there. They were added from Speed QB. They're Velcro, so they just slide in there. Alternatively, if I want to run more magazines for my AR, I can keep that battle belt and add more magazines in here. And I have 2 more out here. So I can run a full complement of magazines, but I'm still keeping it lightweight because of the summer heat down here. It's simply a chest rig that allows air to flow between my chest and the rig itself. The back is open to the elements, which allows me to cool off that way. And I carry a lot of stuff that really I need during a game, but nothing more. When you compare it to some of these vests, I know like this vest was set up because I wanted it to look cool. And so I have my dump pouch, I have an admin pouch, I have an IFAK, which is a medical kit, a first aid kit, which I'm trained. I'm a trained first responder, so I carry it in case somebody needs emergencies on the field for long games. But I find myself not wearing this a lot because it does weigh quite a bit. And with the fake plates in there to keep the shape of the vest, it's just restrictive. I don't like it. It's no real purpose for it. When I play indoor, I'll wear something like that just simply because everyone's real close and it hurts less. The other option that there is, and this is similar to what I wore when we were working special operations for the Florida Department of Corrections, it's a full vest. But again, I don't need it. There's no reason for it. Not for airsoft anyway. But one of the things that I keep in mind about the battle belt setup is I was former law enforcement after I got out of the military. Actually, while I was in the military, I was military police. Then I got out. I worked various private security contracts, and I worked in law enforcement. So I'm used to working off of my waist. When I worked nuclear security, all our stuff was on our waist. We had body armor. When I worked corrections, special operations, everything was on our waist. We had slick armor. That was just our loadout. So I'm used to working off of my waist, which again, muscle memory, when we talk about limitations, that's where we want to be with things like that. Where are you comfortable? And that's what it really comes down to is comfort when you set up your gear. So I don't want to go on with this too much. I know these gear videos aren't very exciting unless I'm reviewing something. So till next time, this is Dave with Blue Line Battle Sports, and I hope to see you guys out on the field.